And it's through the support of our Pan-Africanist brothers. I submit.
Oh, thank you very much, viewers. That was Mr. Saxon Vina from Harare, and he says 41 years of independence. Zimbabwe was the jewel of Africa. Zimbabwe stood high in Africa. Zimbabwe remained a vanguard of Africa, the hope of Africa, the destination for honeymoon. Whenever any newly wed man in Africa, in East Africa, in Kenya, Uganda, would fly to Victoria Falls to see how the falls can engage and put their bond of marriage together. Zimbabwe was the hope of Africa, the basket of Africa, feeding most of the world population in Southern Africa. Zimbabwe was a country that was given its hope. It stood by its right. But 14 million blacks, there are now 18 million blacks. 14 million blacks owned nothing. 4,000 white commercial farmers owned every property in Zimbabwe. They took all arable land in the rainfall area of A and B. They took the best land and pushed the black population towards the lions, leopards, hyenas to eat them. They had nothing. 14 million blacks had nowhere to go for Easter, had nowhere to go for Christmas. Their livelihood depended in the urban dwelling quarters of Chitwinguza and other places in Harare. Today, Mugabe changed the situation. He got land, gave it out to the people of Zimbabwe. He got land, distributed it. There are those who doubted what method of distribution, but there are those who have not reasoned. How did Cecil Rhodes get the land? And I want very bright brains on this panel to reason. You are condemning Mugabe for having taken land violently, but Cecil Rhodes took it violently. So you wanted him to take it how? By kneeling down, by begging. President Mugabe, the late, took a stand. From 1980 in the Lancaster Agreement, there was an article that you don't change a comma in the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe. From 1980 to 1995, there was this method of Margaret Thatcher and Johnny Major, who were leading Britain, and they agreed that a willing buyer, willing seller, compensate the white settler to go home. That was agreed in Abuja. We agreed in Melbourne. We agreed in London, in Harare, in all the conferences of the Commonwealth. I was part of that type of lobby. I've been there before. I've seen what my people have gone through. Coming back to the reality of what it is, what makes Zimbabwe become the focus of the Western Hemisphere? What is it that the Western Hemisphere would like to isolate a country, to demonize a country, frustrate a country? They have been looking for a regime change. Earlier on this show and several shows, my panel have told you, if you have, and I want you to be very, very real, if you have a revolutionary party in the world, be careful, you'll be overthrown. And it is in Africa. I want to tell you frankly that in Africa now, Any country that has a revolutionary party must be very, very careful. And I'm always very honest. I am one of the few people who does not talk under the belt. I hit exactly where it matters. Nigeria is collapsing. If you have a revolutionary party in Africa, you won't survive Joe Biden. You'll be taken out. Dr. Nyanchama, take this and write it down in your book. They are going to do it. All the parties of revolution from CCM, MPLA, ANC, ZANU-PF, Frelimo, NRM, you are going to have a problem. They have actually earmarked a very dangerous route for Africa. Those who have ears hear me. I might not be here today or tomorrow. I might not be there, Karanja. I might not be able to talk again because the forces of those who want to take away Africa from me remain stronger. They have taken over the wars that you see in Somalia, the wars that you see in Nigeria. They have taken over Africa through Boko Haram. They have taken over Africa through Al-Shabaab. The war in Mozambique is not meant for Mozambique. The war in Mozambique is meant to destroy Zimbabwe. As Zimbabwe celebrates 41 years, they better remember my words that there is a silent war, a proxy war to capture Zimbabwe through Mozambique. Once they finish with Mozambique, once they finish with Tanzania, Total Oil has taken over Tanzania. Total Oil is taking over East Africa. Total Oil is a war machinery for the French. Look at all the French-speaking countries in the world. Show me one French-speaking country which has peace. Show me one country that has oil and does not have embargoes. Show me why Iran has got an embargo. Show me why Nigeria is collapsing. I can see my brother from Nigeria. He has been struggling to join us. I'm very, very happy. Oda, I want to see your views when we come to Nigeria. Show me why Central Africa is collapsed. Show me why Somalia is in chaos. Show me why Indian Ocean is about to have a war. Show me why Libya is bleeding. If it is not oil, if it is not France, why is Libya bleeding today? The people of Zimbabwe have a right to exist as a nation, a sovereign state, governed by sovereign laws, laws made by the people of Zimbabwe themselves. I opposed Tony Blair in Brighton conference. Oh, ye. I told Tony Blair, oh, ye. Oh, ye. I said to Tony Blair, it is better to engage President Mugabe. It is better to engage President Mugabe than isolating President Mugabe. They did not listen to me. Today in Africa, I see Tony Blair running from one government to another government, seeking contracts that Matanga should be doing Today in Africa, I see Tony Blair being awarded contracts, yet he comes to ask Matanga where River Nile started from. Today in Africa, we are the most stupid people. We are foolish. We have no direction. We go and give contracts to white agencies, PR companies in the metros. And the metros come to ask Matsanga, Dr. Matsanga, can you write us a paper? Because I know when Dr. Livingstone came to Kenya, I know when Dr. Livingstone came to Uganda, I know where in Malawi was called Nyasaland. Does anybody on the panel know the name of the king that was overthrown by Gaddafi? Who overthrew the king, Emperor Haile Selassie? Does anybody on the panel know who Bokassa was? Because we know we are the people used to gather information. But our fellow Africans give these people contracts, and we remain begging for handouts from NGOs from the West. Today, Zimbabwe, as we sit here, suffers from sanctions imposed by America. The European Union have taken off sanctions from America, from Zimbabwe. But America has refused Zimbabwe to trade in their diamonds. Not that Zimbabwe is not rich. Zimbabwe is rich. Zimbabwe has diamonds. Zimbabwe can build its economy if allowed to trade in its diamonds. But America, craftily, knowing very well that if they allowed Zimbabwe to sell their diamonds, they will come and rebuild their economy. It will be one of the most powerful economies in Southern Africa. They have still imposed targeted sanctions on this great nation of Zimbabwe. My fellow panelists, therefore, I give a minute each, and strictly a minute each, to each of you to make your contribution on Zimbabwe. I will start with Dr. Nachama. 1 minute. Unmute.
Sorry. Zimbabwe, like any other African countries, is suffering from the ego of the West, where they have systematically destabilized Africa. And I have said in this forum before, in fact, in 2008, the French President Jacques Chirac said, if you go to all the banks in the Western world, most of the money comes from Africa. And if we fail to get those resources from Africa, French will slide into a third world country. That tells you the problem with Zimbabwe is its resources. Where I come from, we say, what kills you is your precious possession. I don't know what it means. What is killing Zimbabwe is its precious asset.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, what I was trying to say, they are trying to intimidate and hoodwink Zimbabwe so that it reaches a level where it says, let us share, what is it, let us talk. And then they tell it, this is how, then if you want to trade your diamond, this is how we should go about it. Or in short, they want is the share of the diamond of Zimbabwe. Just as simple as that.
Thank you.
I submit.
Thank you very much. Brother Oda Obukutuku Nelson from Nigeria. How are you? Oda Obubechuku. Nelson, are you hearing us? Brother Nelson, are you hearing us? I want to give you a chance to speak from Biafra. I want to give you a chance from Biafra. I want to give you a chance to speak from Nigeria. Okay, let's come to Kirimi. You have 1 minute. Zimbabwe.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Masanga. And for the people of Zimbabwe, even after the many sanctions that have been imposed on them, even after the very many sanctions that have been placed on them during the regime of their first president, Robert Mugabe, the people of Zimbabwe have shown resilience, even in diaspora, in South Africa, in UK, in their own country. They have been able to build better. Even now, under the leadership of President Emerson Mnangagwa, they have been able to build better. The people of Zimbabwe have shown great resilience in the middle of sanctions. Their country is getting better. Their systems are getting better. Electricity is getting to rural places. Bridges are being built in Zimbabwe. And the president is doing a tremendous job to show these people who have been able to impose sanctions on the people of Zimbabwe. 41 years later, the people of Zimbabwe, most of those years, they have suffered under the scourge of sanctions in their own land. They have been able to be put under the list of sanctions, and the people of Zimbabwe have shown resilience. And congratulations to them on their 41st year of their independence. These are people who have shown great resilience in the middle of adversities. These are people who have shown great resilience. The president has been able to put their country on track. Their country is one of the most talked about countries around. Their president is one of the presidents who have firmly gotten their country back on track. And this is the kind of leadership that we want. Whether we have the support of the West or not, President Emerson Mnangagwa has been able to show great resilience and great resilience to the people of Zimbabwe on their 41st anniversary of the independence. Thank you, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. Karanja, your 1 minute begins now. Tell us, you have heard from Saxon, you have heard from Doctor, you have heard from me, you have heard from Douglas Kirimi, that there is hope. One day, Zimbabwe will rise and shine again. Do you agree?
I agree that there is hope in Zimbabwe, and what they should do to support their president is to enlighten their citizens so that they can be responsible citizens who will be able to be patriots, who will obey the laws, who ensure that the country runs smoothly. To me, that is a very great thing. And as they celebrate their 41st year of independence, they should aspire to do great things. They should aspire to do more, even without the help of the West countries. They should understand that in Africa, they have all the requisite materials, all necessary infrastructural capacity to ensure that they take their country to the next level. These are countries rich in mineral resources, diamonds, golds, and other precious minerals. Therefore, it is up to the government of the day to ensure that they do business with other countries. They ensure that the citizens in Zimbabwe have good employment, they have good education. That is what matters most to the people and the common people in Zimbabwe, and that what will uplift the levels of, will reduce the level of poverty and ensure that there is balanced and everybody is happy to be in that country and everybody will work more, because a government that reflects to the need of people motivates the people to do more and to do great things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javan. Today you have kept it on point. Thanks, clear. Thank you very much. Oda Obukuchuku, Nelson. Nelson, can you talk to us today? We want to hear your voice.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are from Nigeria.
Yes, I'm from Nigeria. Good afternoon, all.
Thank you very much, brother. This television has been supporting the people of the Igbo people who have been killed. Yes.
Exactly. I once again want to appreciate all of you and you, the host. In Nigeria, okay, let me say in Igbo precisely, the usual events that had shaped our life had brought a certain formality between people living in the community. The country is strict on its citizens, such that even the suckling felt the heat.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you. And on Zimbabwe, because Nigeria helped Zimbabwe to gain independence. You might have been young, but I want to bring you up to speed that it was Nigeria that headed the Commonwealth, Troika and others that gave Zimbabwe independence. So we thank you, people in Nigeria. We thank you also. We are coming to your topic of Nigeria.
Okay.
Don't go away. Don't go away. Keep it on. Keep it coming. It is hot. Now I want to see. I can see Professor Jared Onyari. But before I go to Jared Onyari, let me bring in Musa Haji Dito. 1 minute. Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much. Just to be straight to the point, Dr. Matsanga, the problem of Zimbabwe is not actually, or precisely put, the West. They have a role to play. They are responsible for some of the sanctions. But I believe also the SADC, the COMESA, and these regional bodies have a role to play.
Musa, which sanctions?
And this sanction I speak about, Daktari, as far as West is concerned, is, Zimbabwe has been made the Greece of Africa, whereby, simply because Robert Mugabe cannot agree with the white issues and issues of the land, in 2001, when he told them, I think it is the fate for Zimbabweans to rule and to decide for themselves on issues of food and agricultural production, to agree with him. We remember very well, Robert Mugabe has been supporting a lot of African quest for self-determination. I will never forget the role he played in independence of South Sudan. I forget that one. Robert Mugabe really helped Salva Kiir to attain that independence from Sudan. So all these, they have been seeing Mugabe to be the natural, the true Pan-African left in the, in the African theater of leadership, and they saw him as a threat. Mugabe could go to Assembly of United Nations and he tells you being a gay is stupid, and Mugabe doesn't give a damn about that. We know his stand as far as issues of self-liberation of the Sahrawi people, the Tuaregs, as far as issues of the isolation of Madagascar, whatever has been happening in Atlantic Ocean, the illegal fishing in Namibia. Been very vocal as far as issues of Africanization and fighting for African issues is concerned. So they had to eliminate him. Unfortunately, they had to eliminate his people before they could have eliminated him. They killed Zimbabwe, they killed Victoria Falls, they killed dollar. They had to devalue everything. And let us speak about devaluing. Devaluation was very key in Zimbabwean economy. They had to ensure that hoarding, increasing of prices, tripling of fuel prices. And we suspect even in some ways that regional bodies played a part, whereby the neighbors could not speak. South Africa was just mute there. It's doing nothing when Zimbabwe was being mutilated left, right, and center. Santos, someone who was really helped even by Mugabe at times when he was being evicted from power, could not do anything. He was just seated in Madrid doing nothing.
So in short, you summarize the problem going back to the regional bodies like AU, SADC,
yes,
East African Community.
Yes, I tell Dr. To summarize, I say that the problem and the solution to solving Zimbabwe problem will be these regional bodies to have a new paradigm shift on how they are looking at Zimbabwe. The only way the European Union and United Nations will only have a positive image to Zimbabwe is when our regional bodies of COMESA, SADC, EAC will stop looking Zimbabwe in a more negative manner. I submit.
Oh, thank you. Fantastic. I believe, Saxon, you have got, that is a very good topic for tomorrow. and the other day. The only way we can solve this problem is SADC, ECOWAS, AU, COMESA, to come together and speak with one voice. And that is part of the problem of Africa. We have never spoken with one voice. Look in Somalia. We are not speaking with one voice. People are speaking with double voices, 200 voices. Norway is telling us to go there left. Somalia is going left. Kenya is going east. So we have a problem among all these regional bodies. So I think that's a very crucial point. And our rapporteur, who is Dr. Joseph Nanchama, is our rapporteur. Rapporteur. I'm not French. I don't like French at all. So I don't know. A person who writes our notes, let me be English. Yeah, that's it. I hate French. You know, that's my problem. Everywhere they go, you watch this region. You watch this region. Watch this Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda. Watch. Very soon. They have started taking oil, pipelines, but watch. You are going to see the problem. That they caused in Nigeria. Total oil caused the problem in Nigeria. Today we have shifted it. We are here wearing our suits, signing agreements. We are bringing a danger. Why is it that the British companies are selling their stakes and running away? Why? Why did Tullow Oil sell the stake in Kenya and run away? Why? Do African countries sit down? These ministries of foreign affairs who claim to have people who have gone to school to study diplomacy and international relations, Mr. Sini Wasonga, that we have studied international relations. Do they really know these things? Why would Tullow Oil sell its stake in Kenya and disappear? Why? The war in Mozambique today, which touches Zimbabwe. Why is the war in Mozambique? What do they want? Which companies are fighting in Mozambique? Total Oil and the Shell BP, plus the American company called Oxon. So you tell me, if I'm wrong, I might not be here tomorrow, but mark my words, there is a proxy war and Zimbabwe stands at the periphery, watching an enemy growing up in Mozambique. We better go in like we went and destroyed Kabila's enemies, paralyzed Kabila's enemies, stabilized DRC Congo. Kabila Joseph ran the country when the father was assassinated. If Zimbabwe does not do that and go full throttle into Mozambique, wipe out these terrorists, throw them in Indian Ocean, lock them to jail, take them for trial. And I hope His Excellency and the people, Saxon and others who are watching, will pass that message. I saw this war coming 6 years ago. I warned the Mozambican president then and his ambassador in Intercontinental Hotel. I told them there's something going on where French Total Oil is bringing a war to your region. But because I'm a black professor, a black doctor, I am not recognized. I wish I was a Jew. I wish I was a Jew. But because I'm Paul preaching to the Jews as a Samaritan, my information was neglected. Thank you. You now see the war is growing legs. All African leaders are hapless, running with their trousers down, some of them falling. They can't even stop it. They don't know where these terrorists came from. Had they listened to Masanga at that time and started working, there would be no war today. Thank you very much. Let me 1 minute for my brother, Professor Gerard Onyari. If I come to Shoni Wesonga to finish it up.
Dr. Masanga, you know 1 minute. Dr. Masanga, you know 1 minute is not enough for me. Because as I've spoken already, 1 minute is gone. But be it as it may, you are telling me to be very brief.
Since you are the senior man by grade ranks, we shall give you another 2 minutes.
So, Dr. Masanga, let me just say that first, let me just wish the people of Zimbabwe the best of the best as they celebrate their 41 years of independence. Sometimes the question I ask myself, Dr. Masanga, here are the people who came to Africa and partitioned Africa. They took us their country, Dr. Masanga. They started developing the continent of Africa. These were the people who are not having an intention of getting out of the continent of Africa. This one you must note. The independence of African countries, Dr. Masanga, was given reluctantly. You look from 1960s when independence, there 2 years, Dr. Masanga, you could see some countries presidents being overthrown. And one of the things we have done, Dr. Masanga, we have entered into the trap of the West, Dr. Masanga. Sometimes, Dr. Masanga, we cry, oh, the West has done this. When we are the victims, Dr. Masanga, African leaders, Dr. Masanga, African people, Dr. Masanga, we are talking about ECOWAS, we are talking about East African Community, we are talking about SADC, we are talking about African Union. Who pays African Union, Dr. Masanga? Is it not French people? And can you rise up and you question them? No, Dr. Masanga. So my recommendation here is that the destiny of Africa, Dr. Masanga, is in our hands. And I pray for you and thank God for you because, Dr. Masanga, we are creating an awareness to the people of Africa that we need to do things in the right way. And you say that you are not going to be here with us yes, Dr. Masanga, because we are all mortal. We are here for some time, and at the opportune time we exit. But
I might not.
Yeah, but we have started a conversation, Dr. Masanga, which will take so many years. So my recommendation to Dr. Masanga, to my country, to African people, may we learn to do things in the right way. Because you have rightly said, Dr. Masanga, that the Joe Biden administration, Dr. Masanga, the Democratic Party of America, their policies, Dr. Masanga, if you are not very careful, they will sweep you. And many of them will be swept. I can guarantee you, Dr. Masanga. So African leaders, may we learn to unite. May we learn to do the things the right way. May we learn to respect democracy. May we try to embrace good governance. May we try to reduce corruption, Dr. Masanga, because all the money which is rooted from this country, Dr. Masanga, it is in the Swiss banks, Dr. Masanga, and that's not the way to go. Some of them are in Dubai, the country. You are saying that you don't even like going, Dr. Masanga. May African leaders be ashamed and say that this is a giant continent, Dr. Masanga, with all the resources, with all the minerals, Dr. Masanga, with all the oil we are discovering, Dr. Masanga. Why should we allow the West to keep on screwing us, Dr. Masanga? I submit.
Oh, thank you very much. That's Professor Gerard Onyari, the chaplain, a conflict resolution expert, posing this question to Sean Wasonga. Sean, you have heard. Regime change is real. In Kenya, Mr. Boniface Mwangi is sleeping on his couch with his wife and washing his wife's legs while calling on Karanja and Onyari and Nyachama to wake up. To wake up. You know, I've told the Kenyans, and let me tell the truth here. Boniface Mwangi is George Soros. If you have your doubts, go and wash your face in the Athi River. Can I repeat that so that you know?
Yeah.
Boniface Mwangi is George Soros. If you have your doubt, go and wash your face in Athi River or the nearest river which is near you. Then you will see better. That's a man
Hello.
on the entire continent of Africa.
How are you, Your Excellency?
Who works for George Soros. He carries the money all the way from Johannesburg up to Nairobi, supplying in Harare, supplying in another country where I don't want to mention, and then the rest is left around somewhere. It is up to you, Kenyans. Sean Wesonga, you have 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Matsanga. And of course, Professor Jared Onyari has put it rightly, that these are people, the colonialists are people who came to this continent with absolute interest of carrying away our resources with absolute violence. These are people who maimed our natives. These are people who abducted and killed our forefathers, people who stole a massive amount of wealth as they looked for a market for their European-produced goods here in Africa. And now, coming to the question of Zimbabwe, I'll say that apart from North Korea, Zimbabwe is the only other country which has been at the peril of sanctions for a very, very long time. And it is a pity that Zimbabwe has weathered this quicksand of sanctions alone, regardless of the fact that we have stronger bodies like the AU, the SADC, and ECOWAS. These bodies have not been able to really help Zimbabwe come out strong and tell of the European powers that our brother will not suffer for fighting for rightfully what is theirs. And I would like to borrow the people of SADC, especially the countries which are in SADC, to borrow an example of what China is doing with North Korea. Despite North Korea being listed as one of the countries with the highest number of human rights violations and having been slapped with grappling sanctions, China has never stopped standing with North Korea, and they have been having very warm bilateral relations, and China has actually been aiding North Korea to evade some of these sanctions, which would have rather been having very, very serious repercussions on their economy. What has SADC done? What has South Africa done to help Zimbabwe? What has Mozambique, despite the fact that Zimbabwe was very, very pivotal in the independence of both countries, Mozambique and South Africa? Nothing at all, Dr. Matsanga. So as Zimbabwe celebrates its 41st year of independence, it is upon the South African countries, especially those on the SADC, it is upon the AU, it's upon ECOWAS, it's upon all other formidable regional bodies to do a soul searching and see why have they abandoned Zimbabwe? Why have they been quiet when Zimbabwe has been grappling with these sanctions? We need to have a very candid talk, Dr. Matsanga. We need to go on the negotiation tables and tell the former colonial masters that enough is enough. Zimbabweans have really suffered under these unlawful sanctions, which have sent so many Zimbabweans under the poverty line. So to me, Dr. Matsanga, this is a time when we need to reflect as Africans and really ask ourselves, did we gain independence? And for that matter, independence is not just a matter of being handed over the supreme power or maybe deciding your sovereignty, but economic independence. And as Kwame Nkrumah said, and not until Africans get the political independence, they will never be able to get the economic independence. So therefore, it is a time that we speak about the independence of people of Zimbabwe, both politically and economically. I submit.
Thank you very much, Juliet Magapira, all the way from London. You have asked so many very cardinal questions. I wish you joined us and we heard your voice as a lady. This is a panel of only men here. And your questions are very good. Why is the diaspora not being supported? You are saying Why is the government, why are governments in Africa not dealing with their people who are in the diaspora? You're going to give a contract to people who ask Matanga where River Nile, the source of River Nile is. Who asked Matanga, when did Nigeria get independence? Did you know that some of the white people, given the contracts, don't know when Nigeria got independence? They don't know. And then they come to be experts on us. Yet Matanga, I can tell you, from even when I'm going to the grave, I'll tell you when certain African countries, at least I can mention 30, and their dates of independence. So we have a problem here, Onyali and Joseph and the younger generation that we are bringing up here. Let's now, thank you very much on your sentiments on Zimbabwe. Today in the studio, across from Biafra, we have a younger man who has been struggling so hard to listen to this television for a long time. We have a young man who said he likes my voice when it comes to standing for the people, the Igbo people of Nigeria. 80 million people, 80 million people, the Igbo, are being killed by the Fulani herdsmen. Because Nigeria is not a country anymore. There is no country called Nigeria. Stop telling people Buhari is stupid. Stop telling people lies, Mr. Buhari. There is no country called Nigeria. You saw yesterday on BBC, everybody is fleeing in the northern part of Nigeria. You look at that. Oh no. Oh no. This is a general who claims to have gone to Sandhurst. He has allowed the northern part of Nigeria being taken over by bandits, by terrorists, by ISIS. Stupid. Very stupid president. A man who does not allow, and I'm being honest, what will you do, Buhari? The best we can do is meet before God when you go and I go. Like I've said, when I go, I don't want to meet Changarai. I will tell God, when Changarai is seated here, throw me very far. There are some people that I don't want to meet, even when I've left this continent. Buhari is one of them. This man came to power, promised Nigerians that 100 days in the first term, I will crush Boko Haram. Today, Boko Haram has not been crushed. Their leader is known. We know where he is. Nigerian army cannot even fight a small local militia. 2, when you look at what is happening in Nigeria, you find a disaster. Why have we reached this stage? Why Africa? Therefore, I put a question. Is Nigeria a collapsing state? Or is Nigeria a state anymore? With a population of 200 million. Dr. Nachama, try this for us. Start this for us. Start it for us. Is Nigeria a country? Or is a desert, a bush, where people kill each other at will? Where the Fulani herdsmen have been armed militias, have been bought daggers to come and kill the Igbo. Why are the Igbo being killed in Nigeria? Why are Christians being butchered? Where did we go wrong? Let's bring in Oda Obutuki Nelson. Nelson, kick-start the game for us. Nelson, unmute.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Masanga.
Yes.
It's an opportunity, a very big privilege to be here with you guys. You know, I really appreciate the fact. Nigeria, okay, let me say Igbo precisely. Igbo to be precise. We have been facing a lot here. We have been facing, there are killings all over. There are massacre. You know, that's what brought about NSAS. You know, that's one of the reasons that brought about NSAS in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria has failed. Nigeria has failed, and that's one of the reasons why our able leader Nnamdi Kanu is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that we have a country called Indigenous People of Biafra. You know, that's what Nnamdi Kanu has been fighting for. Imagining a country that has lost the control of its territory. You know, a country that has lost physical control of its territory. Nigeria has lost a control of its territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where that sound is coming from. But that is, you have given us the hint. A country that has lost its territory. Dr. Nachama, in summary, summarize it. A country that has lost its territory.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Masanga. This issue of Nigeria is heartbreaking. And if it has not broken the heart of an African citizen, I don't know whether your heart is made of steel. Professor Nyari can bear me witness. Where I come from, men are taken to be the one to protect the villagers. And when they fail, even old women of 90 years will remove and snatch the spear from their hands and say, we have taken over. A testament that the people who are bestowed with the responsibility to lead have failed or defend them. Boko Haram has terrorized the Nigerians, especially the young people. It is heartbreaking, Dr. Masanga. In fact, as we have been discussing, I know I'm seated in my library at home. Allow me, please, to shed light on how Abraham Lincoln behaved when the Civil War was about to dismantle the Union of United States. And Dr. Masanga, if you can allow me, I want to read this, how he interpreted, so that if the president of Nigeria is listening, he can bowl a leaf. And these are the words I'm just saying in property. He interpreted his responsibility and out of office to safeguard the interests of his nation because it was disintegrating. And they said it this way: my oath imposes upon me the duty of preserving by every indispensable means that government, that nation, of which that constitution was the organ law. Was it possible to lose the nation and yet preserve the constitution? By general law, life and limb must be protected. Yet often a limb must be amputated to save a life. But a life is never wisely given to save a limb. I felt that measures otherwise unconstitutional might become lawful by becoming indispensable to the preservation of the Constitution through the preservation of the nation. End of quote. Sorry, Dr. Masanga, I think I got a challenge here. What Abraham Lincoln is saying, he stretched his interpretation of his power to prevent the interest of his people. And they said, whether funny people are quoting the Constitution is the organ law. Because popular supreme lex maxim says the welfare of the people is the supreme law. And what I have read, if the president is listening and watching the northern part to slip away, the man should leave office as early as yesterday. Because he has no power, he has no moral authority to continue leading. Which nation? Because it is disintegrated. You know why Abraham Lincoln said this statement? He was being misadvised to go slow. And they said, whatever you are quoting cannot survive if the life of the people is not there. That is how he read it. I want to appeal to the Nigerian leaders, augmented by African leaders, please to unite and save any nation which is integrated. Unity is power. You know, there are people who have ego. Law number 2 of teamwork talks about the bigger picture. If you think you are the bigger picture, if you think you are the entire picture, you will never see the bigger picture. That is why most African leaders never see the bigger picture, because they think they are the entire picture. Please, Buhari, save your people. Save your people. Save your people. Dr. Masanga, I'll submit.
Thank you very much. Oda, we give you the last word on Nigeria, and I want to tell my colleagues that some people would like to do some other things. So we have 2 other topics. One, Uganda, which I want Professor Nyari and Javan Karanja to touch on. Then another one on Somalia that I want Musa and Sean Wesonga to touch on.
Daktari.
So I will give, yes, I will give
yes.
my, yes?
You might excuse me, Daktari, it's a bit getting evening and the time for breaking the fast might be around the corner. There are some prayers around.
Yes, I can hear the thing is going. And for us, we have always been Christians with Muslims. We live together with Muslims. So, brother, you are done. I will take your place when it comes to Somalia with Wesonga. So, Brother Oda Nelson, what do you want Africa to do? Unmute.
Okay. Okay, let me continue with Nigeria. Let me continue with Nigeria, Dr. Masanga.
Yes,
Nigeria.
We know what you want Africa to do for the people of the Igbo people of Nigeria. What you want us to do?
Okay. Please, I want all of us to join hands, because if we all Africans can join hands together, then it can work. But in a fact, or in a place where we didn't join our hands together, it will not work. You know, not because the people or not because Africans are not strong enough, but that they are unable to organize to come together, but for any reason to reach across the barriers that had kept them in separate nightmares. You know, so Dr. Masanga, what I'm saying in essence is this: if you people can help us, Nigerians, you know, if you can help us even on social media or on this platform, you know, Punch TV, if you can help us broadcasting it, you know, I think we can go a long way. Thank you, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. I would like to tell you, Nelson, for the last 4 years, I am the one in sub-Saharan Africa who has stood firm, who has sent investigative journalists into Nigeria to discover, even through Sky News and other agencies, to discover what is going on the ground. I know what is going on Port Harcourt, Enugu, in Onitsha, in the southeastern parts. I know the human rights abuses that Buhari has meted on the people of Nigeria. I'm with you all the way. I'll stand by you. Nigeria is a collapsing state. Let African Union wake up, put their house in order, bring back Buhari on the table, allow a force, a stabilizing force, to go into Nigeria. If we keep on waiting, Nigeria is gone. There is no Nigeria anymore. There is Mr. Jabril, a man who came from nowhere, who doesn't know who is there. Who is in Nigeria? Who is leading Nigeria? This guy has a very big problem. He's 6.1 feet. He's very useless man, a useless president of Africa. How do you allow people, the whole of North Nigeria, people have fled? And you are not a general. You are not a general. No. Who bewitched Africa? Onyari. Who bewitched Africa? Who bewitched Africa? I cannot show the tapes. I cannot show the tapes of killings of young men from southeastern Nigeria. If I show them on this TV, Facebook, and authorities will close me down. And we are not telling lies here. The African Peace and Security Council must meet. Peace and Security Council, PSC, must meet on the question of Nigeria. Nigeria is collapsing. Mr. President of this country, of the country where you people are, Nigeria is collapsing. The war in the north has taken over 3/4. Everybody is fleeing. People, children are being abducted. Women are being raped. People are being shot. People are being cut. Christians are being murdered. The state has collapsed. Thank you very much, Nelson from Biafra. God bless you. God bless Africa. God bless you. We shall fight until we rise again. We shall fight against any form of neocolonialism, whether through the back door or the ventilator. We shall fight it. Let Africa rise and shine again. And I will take, I will take your number. I want you to participate in a conference. I want you to highlight the Nigerian question. I want you to be part of that discussion next month. Thank you very much. Live from wherever you will be. Say it to the world. Say it to Thabo Mbeki. I'm holding that. I'm bringing them here. Say it. There are some people in Africa who think that I'm just a street boxer. I'm a street reader. I got my degree through street battles. I did not get it through like Mutahi Nguni, through sponsored by agencies of neocolonialism. Mine is different. Mine is different. My degree was in struggle. I never got a scholarship from Ford Foundation, from George Soros. That's why you see me different. Some of them cannot criticize even George Soros. Because George Soros will tell you, I gave you my scholarship. Shame. Shame. Mine, I wash trains from London to Edinburgh. And you know what white fishes are. When you are washing the, if you have lived in London, you know someone goes to the toilet and makes it very dirty because he has seen a black cleaner. And then he says, he comes out of the toilet, he says, that toilet is very dirty. Onyari. Onyari. That's how.
Yeah,
before you check out, handle us the situation of Uganda.
Dr. Masanga, you are a comrade and even the comrade order from Nigeria. I was born in the struggle, I live the struggle, and I will die in the struggle. The question of the Biafra people, Dr. Masanga, you know my position before I even make for Uganda, is let people decide what they want to be or not what they want to be governed. I am in favor of self-determination. The people of order be given, comrade order, be given an opportunity to decide, do they continue being part of Nigeria or they want to go their separate way. I see this now, the government of Nigeria cannot be able to protect life or either protect property. So it's a government which we can even say that is a failure. Be it as it may, Dr. Masanga, what I have to say about Uganda. And we are talking about sanctions, Dr. Masanga. Mahatma Gandhi once said, so me, a Christian, one Christian, and I will become one. Dr. Masanga, show me where sanctions have worked. If they have not worked, there is no need for them to put innocent people suffer. They are rage that the readers violate the human rights. When you put sanctions on the presidents and the governor, the leadership of the country cannot buy drugs, cannot provide security, are you not a murderer? Are you not equally charged like them? So my submission here is, Dr. Masanga, the African leaders come together. We have what it takes to take this continent forward. You know, in Uganda, President Museveni, Kaguta Museveni was a darling of the West, Dr. Masanga. They have used him, they have used him, they have used him now, Dr. Masanga. They want to disperse him. You know what we said about electronic elections. You know how it has gone, Dr. Masanga. But what I only say that African leaders should have a greater picture, a bigger picture of what happened to their country. Don't allow these people from the West, Dr. Masanga. President Moi once had this to say when he was a teacher. When they are in a senior teacher's senior common room, an African and is a teacher is there to be seen. Don't think that the West means well for us. The sanctions they are putting against the continent of Africa, Dr. Masanga, are aimed at siphoning and rooting our resources. So the West, please spare those sanctions. If you love Africa, there's a way, there's a hygiene way, there's a civil way you can engage these African leaders, Dr. Masanga. And I'm looking for the day, all the money which has been rooted from the continent of Africa, which is a bank offshore accounts, Dr. Masanga, when the West will say that return this money. In Nigeria, for instance, Dr. Masanga, has the money for Sana Abacha been brought back to Nigeria? Those are double standards. So these sanctions can't work, Dr. Masanga. They are aimed at, I'm twisting the African leaders, Dr. Masanga, so that they give in, so that they can be able to get our resources, Dr. Masanga. You know my position here is, Dr. Masanga, since the demise of Muammar Gaddafi, Dr. Masanga, it changed my thinking. I came to realize that when Muammar Gaddafi gave in to Barack Obama, and Barack Obama killed him, you hear he said, my son, why are you killing me? So the West does not mean well for Africa. Those sanctions cannot work. African leaders do the right things. I submit.
Thank you very much. Javani Karanja.
Yes,
Quick one on Uganda.
David Masanga. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. And the purported visa restrictions to government officials by the US, I don't see it going a long way in ensuring that the government of Uganda respects the human rights, does respect the human rights, because the US government is accusing the officials for violating human rights and causing some electoral irregularities when they had their general elections in early this year. Therefore, the only people, and these sanctions, Dr. Masanga, will not work to benefit the common of Ugandans, but these sanctions are there to weak the leaders so that they may be by some of the threats that are coming from these big countries. And you know, their aim is to get the resources. Their aim is to control industries and big parastatals. Therefore, at the end of the day, these sanctions will not benefit the African continent, but they are there to ensure that we are heading on a downward trajectory in terms of our political, social, and economic prosperity. Therefore, it is high time for the people in Africa, for the people of Uganda, to ensure that they streamline their ways of life, they streamline their political arena, they streamline their economic aspects to ensure that they grow their economy, they grow their political knowledge and so on, without the influence of the West. Therefore, we as Africans, we have the requisite materials, the requisite necessities to ensure that we move to the next level. And our problem, we need to decolonize our minds so that we can see ourselves as capable, as equal to the whites, as people who can do more. We have all what it takes. It's up to us Africans to take the necessary measures to ensure we have good leaders in place, we have enlightened voters, we have people who are up to task, people who will be able to work hard to ensure that we have a government that reflects to the needs of people. Therefore, these sanctions will not deter the officials of Museveni government from committing any crimes. They will continue. At the end of the day, it's not a must for them to visit the US. They can visit any other country. Therefore, this will not go anywhere in helping the country, but it will take them to a downward trajectory in terms of their development and in terms of how they coexist as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to make my statement here. I'm a Ugandan. And I want the people of Uganda, both in the government and in opposition, to listen to me. I will never agitate for sanctions to kill my people. Having seen what happened in Zimbabwe, I will never take part in any call for sanctions against the people of Uganda, whether military, whatever form you are in, whether civil servants, I will never. I therefore want to make it very clear that I oppose any form of sanctions against an African country. I believe the American foreign policy should be to engage the people of Uganda and the leadership, the opposition, to bring them together to find a long-lasting peace solution to the political macabre that we have endured. Sanctions don't help. Americans don't learn. Americans never learn. Americans never learn. They put sanctions on MPLA. Savimbi collapsed without winning the war. Savimbi ended up uniting with Agostinho Neto with Santos. He fought Agostinho Neto until he died. He made peace with Santos. America had put sanctions on MPLO leadership and supported Savimbi. For me, as a man who has studied political science, and I studied it not in a university and a tree, I studied it in Her Majesty's University in the United Kingdom. My marks were not cheated. I presented my paperwork and I passed. I did not pass with a lower degree. I would not accept anybody in Africa calling for sanctions, whether targeted or overall, because they hurt the ordinary people. For example, now, why hasn't America put sanctions on Buhari? I'm asking. Buhari has killed so many people, but Buhari banks money in the Citibank in America. The wife of Buhari has about 2.5 billion shillings, dollars, $2.5 billion banked in American economy. Why haven't we given sanctions, put sanctions on Buhari to stop killing people? Paul Biya in Cameroon banks money in Paris and the United States. The only country that has refused Paul Biya's money is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom of Her Majesty the Queen. They refused him. They don't entertain him. But France and America have taken Paul Biya's money. They use it to upgrade their roads, their social infrastructure, at the expense of the dying Amazonians and the dying Biafrans. Why do you run to Uganda? Yes, in Uganda they were atrocities. Yes, they were committed. The government should be put on task to find out who committed what and take these people to jail. But to have sanctions coming from US, what do they help us? These boys, these people are going to bring their children back and send them to South Africa. Am I wrong? And they continue with good education in South Africa. They will send them to United Kingdom, change the passport, put their names, they go and study and they pay cash. So what will sanctions help an ordinary man in Kampala? What? What will sanctions help Chagulani? My brother, younger brother Chagulani. Some of these things, when you are doing them, Chagulani, think fast. Think fast and ask us veterans, wewe mtoto, you are not asking us. You think you are taking the whole country, thinking you are the only first opposition leader. I'm now today telling you. Some of these things of you running around will cause more problems for our people already. I'm one of the few who has disagreed when you people were singing songs praising President Museveni. I'm the only one who has ever praised him. Yes. And let Chagulani hear that I am also a rebel. And I'm a leader who knows a gun. Museveni knows I know how to use a gun from 1978. So these things of yours, Chagulani, where you are running around without consulting other opposition men who have been there before. Where, now, or to, oh no, now, meaning you are spoiling Dr. Nyanchama. For those who don't hear Uganda, don't spoil. Yes, mistakes were made. People have been detained. People have been beaten. But let's have a coherent strategy. Not this one of you running around only, taking private visas. You also need to know what you are doing, because the vote, like my own constituents, gave you my mother. My mother is 90 years old. She gave you a vote. And you cannot say it's Matsanga's vote. My mother is 90 years, gave you a vote. Therefore, change your strategy. Calling for sanctions to few individuals does not help my mother. In any case, these officials are ministers. They could be bringing food for my mother or medicine for my mother. Therefore, if my mother does not receive that medicine, she will die. So I call upon the opposition in Uganda to unite and find a peaceful, a serious strategy. I'm a political strategist. I'm not a novice who plays music in Makerere or anywhere. I've been in a struggle since 1982. I've been fighting President Museveni since 1982. Yes, when some of you were not even born, when Chagulani was not born, who are you to go and call for sanctions to bring more trouble for us? You can do it. It's all right. Thank you very much. But the consequences, you will still remain with the same generals. Those generals are not going to be removed from their offices. Is the President Museveni going to sack these guys? They are going to endanger the people. If once they know it is you who wrote their names. Please, please, please. Dr. Besigye, you are hearing me today. Dr. Besigye, please get a meeting with this young man. He's going out of the box. Yeah. Me, I hate anything to do with any foreign funded systems. I don't like them. And that's why I've lived better in Europe. And I'm happy about that. I have no quarrels about it. Thank you very much. I just want to give Sean Wesonga 1 minute to comment on Somalia. Then we close the show and call it a day.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Matsanga. And I'll go straight to the point. Of course, Somalia has been quite a thorn on the foot of the region. We understand that we have been in concerted efforts to root out Al-Shabaab militias who have been in their operating center in Somalia. And Kenya and other allied forces through AMISOM have been assisting the Somali government to actually get rid of these terrorists, these dissidents. But as it occurs of late, the government of President Farmajo has not been showing the due willingness to work with AMISOM to be able to fight Al-Shabaab. And we saw yesterday, news coming in is that AMISOM troops have urged the Somali counterparts to be on the forefront in fighting Al-Shabaab. And that is what we want. Because, Dr. Matsanga, reports are out there, intelligence reports, that the government of Somalia has been going to share intelligence with Al-Shabaab, despite the show that they give us for the optics where the Prime Minister has been meeting the troops which are purported to fight Al-Shabaab. These guys have been going behind the scenes to share intelligence with the terrorist groups. And that is why today we do have Al-Shabaab militias in Mozambique. That's why today Al-Shabaab has regrouped and the terrorist groups are actually getting more uniforms from Turkey. They are getting to strategize and be more lethal than ever before. So to me, Dr. Matsanga, the problem in Somalia has only one solution, we have to give marching orders to President Farmajo and his cronies. They have to exit office for peace, stability, and tranquility to exist in Somalia and to the large extent, the East African region. Without that, Dr. Mazanga, Somalia is going to remain the problem it has been, and soon enough, it will burst into something bigger than the region can expect. So the solution is and only one. Let President Farmajo and his cronies be moved out of office, either willingly or by resignation. I submit, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. As we end this show, I want Dr. Nyachama, our rapporteur, to take this note. I want to thank Mr. Nelson Oda from Nigeria, Biafra. But I want to state, Professor Jared Onyari, I have discovered a new method to deal with Somalia. One, I am going to go to Europe to lobby all European countries to cancel all Somali passports, holders of European passports. You have seen the way I'm going to be the hero on the planet Earth. I am going to campaign beginning from Britain because the Somalis will never bring peace once they have British or Norwegian passport. They come and kill people in Somalia, then fly back to Britain. Yes. So I am going to suggest to the British government, I'll write to the British government to seek why Somali nationals who have taken up positions in the Somali government, where they have British passports, create chaos, then run back to Britain. Why? If you are looking for it, you have got it today. This topic continues tomorrow. I think this has brought very good saliva to you. That's a move we are going to take. And I have already lined up international agencies that will help. If you have a Norwegian passport, you become a prime minister of Somalia. Then you now destabilize Somalia and run back to Norway. Your passport should be cancelled. International community should not be having meetings in Mogadishu with Farmajo, who has got an American passport. He should show us the letter that cancelled his passport. This is where we are getting the war. The war will never end if we don't take drastic international, restrictions. Somalis from Europe calling themselves Norwegians, Danish, French, British, they come to Somalia, they kill people, they join Al-Shabaab, then they kill, then they wash their hands, fly through Asmara, fly through Eritrea, fly through Dubai, fly through Qatar, return to Britain. Surely, that is the stand. And I can see everybody on the panel is shaking. But this war, I don't lose wars. I want to thank you all for being here on this show. I want to thank my brother from Biafra in Stay Put. Biafra will rise and shine again. Buhari will be brought to the United Nations. Buhari will be put on trial. Buhari has lost Nigeria. Nigeria is sliding into war. Point number 3, Uganda, United States of America was wrong to impose sanctions on the Ugandans. It should have encouraged internal democracy, internal dialogue, to find out, to tell the government silently that there are people, like they did in Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta shook hands. Kenya today is peaceful. Kenya today is peaceful. Ambassador Reinberg, no, ambassador who was here before this other one came, worked behind the scenes to bring about peace in Kenya. America should take the Kenyan example, engage President Museveni to accommodate the opposition so that Uganda does not fragment itself into states of war. Sanctions will only destroy the national unity, will only add to the agony, the killings, the pain, the anguish. You know, those words mean differently on the people of Uganda. I don't support the move they have taken, and as usual, I'll write openly to the American friends of mine, like my dear sister Susan Rice. We worked together on several projects, and we shall write, and this will reach Joe Biden, and Joe Biden will take a step to review. You are putting sanctions to men whom you claim they went to kill. So what will they do next? We are in their hands. Why don't you engage them? Tell the government that we don't want, bring these people together. Let the opposition, the younger opposition of Uganda, led by Honorable Chagulanyi, begin to find engagement policy, dialogue. Our Uganda needs all of us. Nobody has suffered more than the people of northern Uganda. Nobody has suffered more than some of us. For 36 years, we are in exile, but we have never called for sanctions to hit our countries. Don't rush into these things. And I've given free advice. If you want to hate me, you can hate me. You feed me. You don't feed me. Have you been feeding me in exile? No. So go to hell. You will pay my ground rates? No. Yes. Stupidity in opposition parties should stop. The same people in Uganda, before I leave this, these are the same people who made the laws that are killing us today. They worked with Museveni to make it the laws to kill us. Now today they are turning around. They are bringing more problems. No. They were creating songs praising the regime. I've never danced a song or played a guitar praising the regime, although I know how to play guitar. The song you know. Thank you. This station, therefore, is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa, child.
Viewers, those listening to this tape or this video, I want to bring to your attention that the politics of proxy wars in Africa is becoming real, and it has become a reality. I want to bring to this the attention of the African states that time and time again, we have fallen victims of proxy wars. We fight wars that are not ours. We fall in conflicts that are not supposed to be, don't help Africa, and they don't help our countries at all. The proxy war that is in East and Central and the Horn of Africa has been ignited, supported, equipped by France. It has been very real that the French government quietly through its company called Total Oil has been searching for resources around the triangle of East and Central Africa and Great Lakes region and the Horn of Africa. The LAPSET was one of them, which could have been a landmark project for the people of France. They withdrew from it. The Tanga to Mwanza, they made it, they withdrew from it. The search for oil and resources through Total Oil has brought us the dangers of a proxy war in the region. It is therefore very prudent for people of the region to understand the dynamics that we are going through. For example, in Rwanda and the Burundi conflict, there is a proxy war. We are fighting a proxy country. It has brought us to a war between the two countries, between Uganda and Rwanda and Burundi. There is a proxy war in Congo who is sponsoring a resurgence of rebels that are fighting President Tshisekedi because he was not supported by countries that we know very well. This type of strategy has happened in North Africa, where Libya has been reduced to rebels, where each faction, even the government supported by United Nations, is being bombarded by a rebel called Khalifa Haftar, who is funded by countries that we know. The question of Somalia and the Kenyan maritime presents a challenge, a test case for Africa and East Africa to stand firm and denounce the actions of countries that bring proxy wars and proxy politics in our region. It is therefore my humble submission that for this conflict, for this to end, we must do enough publicity, advocacy around the area to tell and explain to the international community why this problem is going to create an imbalance in the peace in the region, and the regional peace will be affected. It is my humble submission that as a Ugandan whose troops, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers of other many millions Ugandans who are in Somalia, condemn any action by the Somali government to try to resolve issues that should have been resolved amicably as Africans within the African confines. I submit, therefore, that some of us will go a mile further to do now, from now onwards, to expose, to show the challenges of these countries that make us fight a proxy war in Africa. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.